friends. I'm going to title this little, uh, that's kind of like a commentary. I'm going to call it To Stop the Earth from Revolving in order to make more motion. So, excuse me, this is kind of about the leaves of the trees. And instead of bagging them all the time, uh, I started thinking about like selling the leaves, like if you gather them in some way. But then I thought, well, maybe there's a way to like put the leaves back on the trees. And instead of doing that, even to make all the trees evergreen forever, and they become like immortal trees. So you put to use the trees, or you put to use some kind of formula that you can put on the trees, or do something. I started thinking to get the leaves back forever. And then I thought, well, maybe there could be like a shift in time to see the leaves rather uh, than be blinded to like what's happening when the leaves like always fall. And we set in our ways this thinking that the leaves are going to be falling every season. And then I started thinking about like rocks in a certain way, where rocks are kind of like a vast mapping technology and ambitious language that you can read if you know how. And I started thinking about the way to like read nature is by kind of like even contra Wordsworth, but like in the same sense that he had in his worship of nature, but going beyond that and actually marrying nature in some weird way. So you have like the never-ending spring will be the result. So you could stop the Earth from revolving around, orbiting the sun, or maybe you could change the path of the elliptical path into a perfect circle, so that instead of having the seasons where you have spring, winter, summer, and fall, you take out the summer, winter, and fall, and you just get spring the whole time. So everything is in bloom. And I think that the rocks, they can give this kind of code if you know how to read them. And it wouldn't take just one person to be taking like everybody. So there'd be lots of love involved. And you could look and listen to the leaves that see how they're falling to the earth, to the ground, and to the rocks, as if the leaves were pointing like downwards, like, hey everybody, look at what we're doing. We're pointing to these rocks and the code of the rocks, which has been here all along, but it takes like appreciation of the leaves falling to understand what they're trying to say. So you have also the wind, and you have also fire, which are kind of like dancers, but a new kind of wind and a new kind of fire, the kind of fire that was in the burning bush, where there wasn't a kind of a consuming of the bush, so that there was no pain from the fire and no pain from the wind. So music is like kind of like a love that we made, these angels and I, that we're sharing. And it's a benign music, so the fire and the wind would turn benign in general. And I have this kind of code in my musical output on YouTube where it's kind of, there's number coordinates, and that's part of the love. And I think of like music as coming from colors, even an appreciation of colors. And then I started thinking about the biblical figures of Terah, who's Abraham's father. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Joseph, and Moses are kind of interchangeable with David, king of the kingdom. And that sequence, and how like they were all for the blessings and stuff, and so that would be like a sequence of an immortality. And I'm thinking also of the 14 heavens. Also, there's seawater and rainwater and the sand, and Abraham is supposed to count all the stars in the sky, all the grains of sand, and counting as a way to turn summer, fall, winter into a perpetual spring. But it takes us all, I'm trying to say. And this plan is harmony. And harmony, I was telling my brother, probably doesn't have anything to do with music in the end. But there's kind of a new kind of mathematics could emerge where numbers like 12 plus 7 could equal 48. And then this would be like part of the map, which is more or less sublime. And then I started understanding that this denting of space-time can create a new path, say like in the dent of space-time around, not just around in a circle instead of an ellipsis, which is what the Earth orbits the sun on right now, but it would cause happiness to ensue. So the happiness of enjoying music will begin, it would start the sequence of this kind of universal harmony of space-time, a repathing, a breaking of a new path, a reforming the universe and the cosmos for our own happiness and desires, but in harmony with the rest of everybody else. So I think of like the power of the sea and of water and of the praying over water, which is a kind of water magic called hydromancy, which I wrote about in the hydromancy of Jenny McBride, one of my angel wives. And Jennifer's plans to have like new combinations of water based off of voyages that we make to anonymous markets, to anonymous supermarkets and stores, bringing things back that the angels choose, not just what I choose, but or what I need, but things that the angels need for props for this water magic. And then the return of the patriarchs, not in the form of the patriarchs per se, but just in the form of style, and the style only for happiness. and then this all goes kind of with the idea of life in general, and the flow of pleasure becoming like an oceanic pulse in the universe, so that all motion of all things becomes a flowing motion, and there wouldn't be any rest at all, but everything would be alive and in pleasure and in happiness and bliss, and everything would be changing all the time in even an abstract way. Thanks for listening.